Ladies and gentlemen, what is up? I am John Maffio. We are at the end of another year, the end of another era. It is the end of 2013, and with the end of the year, we were brought many movies. Some were bad, some were good, some were great, and today I am here to talk to you guys about my top 10 movies of 2013. My favorites. These 10 movies I'm about to describe to you briefly as I count down to number 1 were the ones that impacted me the most, the ones that, upon reflection, just popped up in my mind quickest, and just the movies that were, so damn incredible. So, if you don't like my list, get the fuck out of the room, bitch. The following now are some honorary mentions that did not make the top 10 list, and they are in no way chronologically or biased ordered. The Conjuring, Rush, Spectacular Now, The Way Back, Don John, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, Mud, Dallas Buyers Club, Matthew McConaughey, that guy's reaching big, and with Interstellar coming out next year, he's looking to the stars. Star Trek Into Darkness, Iron Man 3, Gravity, Nebraska, and last but not least, Lone Survivor. Coming in at number 10 is a movie that impacted me from all emotional sides, and it left a big wrenching hole in my heart. It's 12 Years a Slave, directed by Steve McQueen. It's a movie that took place during the slavery era, when the whites and the blacks were segregated, and one guy who was a free black man had to get out when he was captured by a couple Caucasian idiots. It didn't make the list because it's that important movie on my list. It made the list because it's a movie that really impacted me, and it just left me with this, warranted hatred for Caucasians for a few minutes there, and I kept thinking, we were assholes back in the day. We were truly assholes. Thankfully, we don't have that problem today, and white people still can't jump. That is why 12 Years a Slave is my number 10. Number 9 is a movie that released very recently. It's directed by Spike Jonze, and it concerns a man falling in love with a computer. It is Her. This movie, starring Joaquin Phoenix, is quite the movie. I didn't love it the first time around, but the more I think about it, the more I appreciate it. It has a great social commentary on technology and where we're going with technology as human beings. One day, men will want to stick their penises into a USB cord, and women will want to have a plug corded right in. Who knows? It could happen. It's genuine, it's heartfelt, it's romantic, believe it or not, and it does have a lot to say about society, and that's why it's my number 9. Coming in at number 8 is the latest Coen Brothers movie, Inside Llewyn Davis. This movie connected with me a lot because it deals with folk music and it deals with life and how much of a bitch it could be. And this guy, Llewyn Davis, he reminded me of like Jack Johnson, John Mayer, a lot of the folk guys that we have today, but back in like the 1950s or 60s, if I'm right. It surprised me in a number of ways. I really enjoyed the music. It had a lot of good humor in a really dark way. The story connected with me a lot, and I was very genuinely shocked at the way the story panned out by the end frame. You might have this hope, and there's always hope in life, but sometimes for some people, that hope gets smashed. Unfortunately, in life, some people just can't make the cut no matter how hard they try. That's a harsh reality, but it is in some ways true. And that's why this is my number 8. Coming in at number 7 is The Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug. Smaugy Smoke Smog. Originally, this was not on my top 10 list, but I saw it a second time with the family, and my god, 3 hours never went so quick. Aside from another movie, which I'll get to later, but this movie is awesome. Is there a lot of character development? No. Is there a lot of story developing? Not really, but it's a lot of fun. It's so much fun. Smaug is one of the greatest CGI creations of all time, in my opinion. The whole sequence towards the end with the Lonely Mountain and Smaug is one of the most fantastically crafted scenes I've ever seen in the movie theaters in recent times. I love this movie, and I can't wait to watch it again. It's my number 7. Coming in at number 6 is Saving Mr. Banks. It's a movie about Walt Disney and how he's trying to convince P.L. Travers, the author of Mary Poppins, to make the movie Mary Poppins, which eventually did come out. This is the process. This movie really touched my heart. Like E.T. touching Elliot. Bing! Jesus Christ, this movie got to me. Also, Mary Poppins was one of the most influential, fictitious characters in my childhood, so makes sense. That's why it's my number 6. Coming in at number 5 is the latest animated Disney movie, Frozen. It's about two sisters, Elsa and Anna, and one of them has snow powers, and this movie is fantastic. It reminded me of the early days in the 90s with Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, The Little Mermaid, Lion King. It had great music, it had great animation. Olaf the Snowman is a boss. And I fell in love with this movie the minute I saw it, and I can't wait to watch it again. I adored this movie. I love Disney when they're at their best, and they are definitely climbing the ladder again, possibly towards a second renaissance. Coming in at number 4 is the ensemble comedy, This Is the End, directed by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg. Wow. I saw this movie 3 times in the movie theater, and I loved it every single time. I have watched it several times at home on DVD Blu-ray, and I still can't get over it. I love this movie. All the jokes hit. Just the idea of all these actors playing caricatures of themselves is a genius idea, and the execution is brilliant. And the ending with the you-know-who's gets me pumped up every time. I love this movie. I cannot express how much I love this movie. Actually, I am right now by telling you that I motherfucking loved This Is the End. That's why it's my number 4. Backstreet's back, alright! Coming in at number 3 is a high-speed crime drama. It is called Prisoners. It stars Jake Gyllenhaal, Hugh Jackman, among others. This movie had me by the balls from minute 1 to the end of the movie. I loved it. It reminded me of a lot of thrillers I've seen over the past few years, including Zodiac, Seven. I loved everything about it. I love the mystery. It's meticulously crafted, and it's a great directorial piece, but it's also an amazing movie just to watch with people who don't care about movies. It's awesome. It's my number 3. Coming in at number 2 is a movie that from the minute that the movie ended, I knew it would be in my top 5 at least, The Place Beyond the Pines. It stars Bradley Cooper, Ryan Gosling, Dane DeHaan, among others, and this movie, it's a long movie. It's broken up into 3 structural pieces, and I thought all 3 pieces were perfect, and I love this movie so much. It has great acting, a great story with surprises that will shock any movie watcher, no matter what. But the greatest thing is that even though this movie lets its biggest rabbit out of the hat in the first act, it still has a lot more to deliver after that, and it's a great movie with a great story. It's my number 2. It's gonna be a classic one day. Mark my words. And here we are at last, number 1. My favorite movie of the year, undoubtedly. If you watch the review, you know this. The Wolf of Wall Street, directed by the Martin Scorsese, starring the Leonardo DiCaprio. This movie has everything. It's hilarious. It's got fantastic acting. It's got a fantastic story that satires, but also realistically depicts how Wall Street was and probably still is now, how insane and zany it is, what these guys do with their money. It's just an all-around entertaining movie that delivers on the surface, but also has undertones and themes and morals that lift up from underneath that really do show how society has broken down and deteriorated over time. It's actually really awesome that Martin Scorsese, even way past his prime, could make, you know what, he's still in his prime, because even after 30 years, he's still making fantastic classics. This movie will be a classic 20-30 years' time. The Wolf of Wall Street is amazing. It's my number 1. I'm not a drug guy at all. I do drink liquor and beer, but some of us do have weaknesses. I like to get inebriated. I don't do drugs, though. This movie gave me the sickest urge to snort cocaine and pop lemon pills. When a movie could do that, you know it's significantly successful in some way. Meep. That's all, folks. Those are my top 10 movies of 2013. I hope you enjoyed this video, but we are now at the best part, the discussion section. What are your favorite movies of the year? If you want to list your top 10, top 20, then do that, please. What do you think of my list? Do you agree, disagree with my favorites? Subscribe to my channel, MaffmanJones, so you'll never miss a review from me ever again, because we got 2014 on the horizon, and a lot of supposedly good movies coming out. It's going to be a wild ride. Also, like the video and check out my Facebook, my Twitter, and Wheel of Film accounts in the info box. As I record right now, I don't know which order I'm going to actually upload the videos to, but when the worst movies of 2013 is up, I will link it in the info box too, and on the screen, so you can click it, and you can go right there and watch that now. Or if you watch the other way, you can do the other way around. Whatever you want to do. I'm John Maffio, aka MaffmanJones. Here's the 2014. I'm not drinking tequila right now, but you can imagine it. Ready? Bing! See you guys next year.